First up, Chiefs Pro Bowl defensive tackle Chris Jones. Nearly 25 sacks the past 2 years. It was placed on the franchise tag. He was given that this offseason. However, Jones is refusing to take part in the virtual offseason without a long-term deal. Now, NFL.com's reporting he wants $21 million a season, which would make him, man, that's ambitious, man.
That is, man.
I'm not mad at you, but that's probably not going to happen, which would make him the third highest paid defensive player in the NFL. Maybe it will happen. Who knows? In or out. Chris Jones is a top 5 defensive lineman in the NFL. Top 5.
I'm going to say yeah. I mean, it's all about production. We may not know him as well as we do some of the other names that you talk about in this category, like Aaron Donald. But he's effective, and that's really all that matters. Now, is he going to get more than $20 million a year, basically make more than Teddy Bridgewater, who's a starting quarterback in this league? The answer is probably no.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't ask for it. This I tell you, he's disadvantaged a little bit because of the quirkiness of this offseason and the fact that, not being around is not going to be as impactful. At least you're not going to feel it because nobody's been around. And, the idea of holding out from camp is to say, you guys aren't going to be as good without me. Well, I don't think anybody's going to be as good without anybody this year. So
it's true.
He's missed. It's a bad timing for him. Not that anyone could have helped it. I still don't think he's going to get that, but I think he's making the right move. Put some pressure on him.
I agree. I'm going to say inbounds as well. I had to think about this, quite frankly. I had to dig into some of the numbers, do a little research. Obviously, you mentioned Aaron Donald. Don't forget about Akeem Hicks. You got to put Fletcher Cox there for sure.
Yep.
DeForest
Barrett.
Shaq Barrett. What do you have? 20 sacks a year ago. DeForest Buckner. Now at the Colts, he was part of that trade for the Niners. I mean, there's some beast up there for sure. I said Fletcher Cox, right? But here's something that jumps out to me, all right? And I found this. So he was double-teamed 70% of the snaps.
Wow.
I mean, that's an inordinately high number. 70% of the snaps he was double-teamed, which, forget about his individual production, which you can quantify. What about the space it creates for his teammates? That's number one. Listen, the 9 sacks, all right, he can do better than that. But still, 27 pressures, 8 tackles for a loss, 20 quarterback hits. He does everything really well.
Yeah.
There's no discernible weakness. And unlike some other players who you might put on the list, like top 10, that are kind of leveling out in terms of age, like a J.J. Watt, he's still ascending.
Yeah.
So I say inbounds. He's closer to 5 than 1, but I put him inside the top 5. I agree with you. Number 2, LaMelo Ball is a surefire, you would imagine, top 5 pick in the draft coming up. But his pops, LeVar, is trying to pull the strings once again. Where have we seen this? After wishing Alonzo to the Lakers, LeVar told the, quote, the Say Less with Kaz podcast, that there's one lottery team he doesn't want to draft Melo. Come on, in or out? It would be bad for LaMelo to go to a team like the Warriors with a bunch of proven stars. In or out? It would be bad, is the way it's framed.
No, it's out of bounds. It would not be bad for him to go to a team with a bunch of proven stars and learn and contribute and ultimately find some minutes and be a part of a winner. I think what LaVar is talking about here, BT, is that he wants his son to be like Trae Young. He wants his son to be offensive rookie of the year or just rookie of the year in the NBA because you're on a really horrendous team and they let you take every shot. And that's just, I don't know if that's the best thing for him. Sometimes that does. Sometimes that works out. A lot of times it doesn't. So I'm going to say out of bounds. I'm going to say inbounds. I don't think it would be bad. I'm confused by the question.
Now
it would be bad.
Now you confused me.
Too many negatives.
It would be bad. So your answer is out of bounds because you think it would be good.
Yes.
I agree. My answer is out of bounds. I think it would be great for him to be around such, committed, savvy, accomplished professionals. It will be an honor. His kid seems to be a baller, no doubt, but he's just listen to the number. He's 181 pounds. He's 6'8".
Yeah.
He's not coming into the NBA no matter what Pop says. And, even if he jacks up 20-something shots a game on a bad team, there will be zero efficiency because he wasn't efficient in Australia. And look at the numbers. He did not shoot the ball. I know he's got great range, and I really do think he could be good. The kid shot 37% overall for the Hawks in Australia. I'm looking at it right now, 37.5%. So he's got a steep learning curve. He's going to get banged around. He's going to be flattened by a ton of strong picks from grown men. But I believe the aptitude is there, and I believe the skill is there, and I believe he could be special. He should be lucky to get drafted by the Warriors. I'm with you. Out of bounds to that. Yeah. All right, Teak. As baseball irons out the details about their return, Rob Manfred and the MLBPA have discussed a contingency for teams who need players at a pinch. The plan would entail creating 2 teams of unsigned players, all right, who will be, so no affiliation, will be stationed in Nashville and serve as an emergency pool for teams who lose players to the COVID virus. The players would get paid $400 a week, and major league teams will pay a fee to sign a player. So it's almost like an independent league. That's the way like an unaffiliated team. You'd have to then pay to get that player. So, yeah, it almost feels like an independent, even if it's not independent in the conventional sense. In or out. It is unfair to the players in the minors looking for call-ups to create an emergency pool of free agent vets in Nashville.
Yeah, I think this is in bounds. Of course it's unfair, especially because these kids and these minor league players aren't going to be playing, and some of them aren't going to be getting paid, even though the A's owner reversed course on his decision not to pay, which was the right move. But yeah,
you think he got shamed on social? He got shamed
into
doing
definitely
it.
did. I think he got shamed on by his players, probably. To be honest with you, like the majors, the guys that are already up. I think it is unfair to create this emergency pool because this is what the minors is for, right? And so I know they're not going to be playing, but maybe keep them ready as opposed to creating a whole new kind of, it's not really a league, but I don't know, emergency squad. It doesn't make sense when you have a existing infrastructure that already does this.
Wrong. Out of bounds. It's not unfair because nothing is fair during a pandemic. It becomes sensible. It's not about what's right or what's wrong. It's about what's sustainable and what's best for the entity that truly makes the money. That's not the minor leagues, which is being condensed by the day seemingly. That's about the major leagues. And you can't have you can't run the risk of having players who are still adding to their resume and working on weaknesses and ascending toward the big leagues. You can't run the risk of them being called into a situation that they're not ready for. I mean, it's not like, well, we're going to call somebody up because we think that they've earned it, which is a merit-based thing, which is what the minor leagues is all about. This is based on a medical need. So whomever you bring up, you need to know that there's not going to be much of a learning curve, that at the very least they are, a functional representative major league talent. I think it's actually really smart. Very forward-thinking. I totally agree. My answer is out of bounds. Reggie Bush finally welcomed back to USC after being banned for 10 years and having his Heisman stripped away. However, Bush told Pat McAfee this week that before the NCAA vacated the Heisman in 2005, they tried to give the trophy to runner-up Vince Young, but the Texas quarterback actually turned it down. It is better than that the 2005 Heisman's vacated rather than give it to second-place Vince Young.
Yeah, I think this is in bounds, BT, mainly because Vince Young, this is probably why he turned it down, realizes that he didn't win it. We understand what actually happened, but Reggie Bush didn't cheat the game to win the Heisman Trophy. He may have gotten enriched, or at least his stepfather might have gotten enriched, while he was being recruited. But he didn't cheat the game to win the Heisman. Vince didn't win it.
I respect. I'm with you on this team. My answer is inbounds as well.